to Daily Dictation. This is a video that will help you practice your English skills. The topic this week is impact of climate change in the Arctic. It's for low intermediate English speakers. This video aims to help you practice your English skills. It will help you practice your listening skills and your writing skills. In this video, I will read 5 sentences and you will write down each sentence as you hear it and then check your answers to see how accurate you are. So you're going to check your accuracy in terms of your spelling, your grammar, and everything like that. So let's talk about daily dictation. So daily dictation takes place from Monday to Friday. There are new sentences each weekday, new topics each week. There are 2 English levels offered, and a vocabulary list and practice worksheets are available. There will be more about this at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. Now for the activity. You will need a blank piece of paper and a pencil. You may also have a document that you can type in. That's fine as well. 5 sentences will be read. Each sentence will be read 3 times and 1 more time at the end. You have to write down each sentence. You will use your listening skills. Try your best to apply the correct spelling, punctuation, and capitalization. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so you see here that there's numbers 1 to 5. Each number represents a sentence. So we're going to start with sentence number 1. Number 1. The melting ice reveals a lot about glacial ecosystems. The melting ice reveals a lot about glacial ecosystems. The melting ice reveals a lot about glacial ecosystems. Number 2. Wildlife populations are decreasing due to changing temperatures. Wildlife populations are decreasing due to changing temperatures. Wildlife populations are decreasing due to changing temperatures. Number 3. Icebergs are shrinking in size as the climate warms. Icebergs are shrinking in size as the climate warms. Icebergs are shrinking in size as the climate warms. Number 4. Thawing ice affects Arctic habitats and wildlife. Thawing ice affects Arctic habitats and wildlife. Thawing ice affects Arctic habitats and wildlife. Number 5. Glacial melting is because of global temperature rise. Glacial melting is because of global temperature rise. Glacial melting is because of global temperature rise. Now I will read each sentence one more time. I will start with sentence number 1. The melting ice reveals a lot about glacial ecosystems. Number 2. Wildlife populations are decreasing due to changing temperatures. Number 3. Icebergs are shrinking in size as the climate warms. Number 4. Thawing ice affects Arctic habitats and wildlife. Number 5. Glacial melting is because of global temperature rise. All right, really well done. I'm sure everybody did a great job with their writing. Now we're going to go ahead and check our answers. So if you need to listen again, you can replay the video at a slower playback speed, and you can adjust the speed in the settings of the video. And you can do this if it was just too fast and hard to get the first time around. Or maybe you just need to listen to a specific sentence again. So to listen to a specific sentence, go to the description and check the times, and each time will identify when each sentence was read. However, if you feel like you got everything the first listen, you don't need to listen again or re-listen to any specific sentences. Let's go ahead and check our answers. So let's check your answers, starting with number 1. The melting ice reveals a lot about glacial ecosystems. Number 2. Wildlife populations are decreasing due to changing temperatures. Number 3. Icebergs are shrinking in size as the climate warms. Number 4. Thawing ice affects Arctic habitats and wildlife. Number 5. Glacial melting is because of global temperature rise. All right, so how did you do today? Something that might be a little bit confusing is this one here. We have the and then melting ice. So even though we have the, melting ice actually functions like a noun here. It's what we call a gerund. And the gerund has the ing form in it, and it kind of looks like a verb in the continuous or progressive tense, but actually we use it like a noun in the sentence. So in this case, it's like a subject in the sentence. So watch out for that. If you write that down and you hear it, it's not always incorrect. You might not be off. So keep on practicing and listening closely and trust what you hear. Over here we have due to. And so this begins our dependent clause, due to changing temperatures. That's our dependent clause. Then we have an independent clause as well. Our independent clause in number 2 is wildlife populations are decreasing. So this is our independent clause first, and our dependent clause comes second. So because of this, we do not need a comma. If the clauses were reversed, then we would need a comma. So that makes the comma rule really tricky for these. Another thing that's hard, you might have seen this yesterday, and today we have this word affects. And affects here is spelled with an A, but we also have the word affect with an E at the beginning, and that can be a little bit confusing. So why is this one an A? We use the spelling with A when affects functions as a verb. So when it is a verb in a sentence, then we use A at the beginning. So thawing ice is a subject, affects is a verb, and Arctic habitats and wildlife, this is the object. So here, because this is the verb and it is in the simple present form, we're going to do A. Now, if we use this and said thawing ice has many effects on Arctic habitats, well, when you say many effects, then we're saying many and then we're counting the noun effects. So we would spell it E-F-F-E-C-T-S. So be careful of that spelling. It takes a long time to get correct, and actually many English speakers get these two words mixed up. All right, so now let's have a look at some of the words that we should be reviewing on top of the grammar that we discussed. So here are the words that we will be seeing throughout the week. We have ice, melt, thaw, iceberg, glacial, habitats, climate change, temperature, and wildlife. So these words are really, really good to practice and get to know. Not only will it help you just in an academic setting if you're going to be studying in English, but it's also on topics that might come up in IELTS or TOEFL or some kind of English exam like that. You have no idea of the topics, but climate change might come up. So it's good to know different words related to different impacts that climate change has, such as impacts in the Arctic. So continue to study these and know really how to practice. Besides that, that's all for today. So thank you so much for watching. If you want to practice these words that we just looked at, please go to the description in the and you'll see a link that will bring you to a vocabulary page. This is going to have a list of vocabulary words that will have definitions, example sentences. On top of that, it's going to have a quiz for you to practice your skills a little bit better. Fill in the blank activities available to you. You'll have a reading passage with short answer questions. And then you're also going to have an essay question that will prompt you to write an essay about this topic. So check that to practice more. Besides that, we're all finished, and I'll see you next time. Bye.